Olay and I are about to drop ourselves right back into the great state of Ohio, East Palestine to be exact. Let's put up this tweet from Status Quo, who is on the ground covering the story continuously as they did in Flint, Michigan. I want to give them a shout out right now, because when other media outlets left Flint a long time ago, being happy with the fact that they said all was well, or that President Barack Obama went up in that joint and drunk some of that water when it was not cool to do so, Status Quo stayed on the job. So let's take a look at this tweet. News: weeks after the East Palestine, Ohio controlled burn, residents are experiencing rashes, nosebleeds, and other symptoms. Quote, "My face was burning, but it didn't freak me out until I looked in the mirror," EP resident Christian Bagala told us. And we can see the pictures of her before and the pictures of her right now. Now, folks, ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, now you know what I've said about this. This is a sin and a shame. I went to EP, I talked to some of the residents, and I want to thank John for being our guide there. There's something wrong that in the United States of America, this can happen to anybody, whether it's East Palestine, Flint, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi. Go ahead and name your place, rural, urban, or suburban, in the hoods all across this country. Poor people and working class people are left behind. Now, the residents of East Palestine are suffering weeks after Governor Mike DeWine decided he went into that community and told the residents that the water was safe, and he even did that drink thing. I mean, Olay, it's really ridiculous that you would have an elected official to do that. And I do want to shout, Senator Ruley, who's a senator, state senator in that area, he told his people don't drink the water, and he said the right thing.
Yeah, it's, what's unfortunate is it's not surprising. In fact, I think it is it's symptomatic of the larger problem, because when you think about how much attention, how much power, how much media attention has to go into people just to be ignored, right? Flint, Michigan is something we've been hearing about Flint, Michigan for forever, just to be ignored. Think about how much attention you have to put on something just to continuously be ignored. So imagine what we're not hearing about, because I think what's important to remember is when East Palestine first happened, one of the first things you heard them come out and say was, well, this happens all the time. What's the big deal? And I think that's great. That's terrible, because it doesn't diminish the level to which this is an environmental disaster or the risks and the dangers that you've imposed those residents to. It says, how often is this happening around America, and how many people and how many communities are experiencing this? How many people have their burns on their face, but they don't have status quo there following it, or they don't have people on the scenes for us to even be able to hear about it. And I think that's the larger and far more damning and concerning thing.
It is, and it shows a heartlessness, Olay, like an indifference to people suffering, to poor people suffering, no matter if they're black or white or the swirl in between. If you are poor and working class in this country, you do not merit. Your life is not worthy. Absolutely. And that's what this comes down to. And I hope our sisters and brothers and family and friends from all identities understand this, that we all in the same boat. And as I often say, if you don't have a sugar daddy, sugar mama, sugar somebody, if you ain't got a trust fund, okay, you're on your own. So the 99% of us or the 98% of us need to go ahead and unite and rage against this machine. So they're still suffering. Governor DeWine has even turned down federal funding. So there's something wrong with this dude. So Status Quo has put up this tweet from them. Kristen also had rashes on her leg, foot, after showering. Her 8-year-old son has also been sick. She took him to ER last week for nosebleeds. Both of them were diagnosed with chemical inhalation. Hello, somebody. Her water is connected to EP, East Palestine City Water, which the governor and EPA declared safe. So EPA, you're failing on this one, baby. Yeah, right. You are. So you're taking out forever chemicals, but you're sitting up here playing games with the lives of the people in East Palestine, which also has an impact on people in Pennsylvania, which also has an impact on people in other parts of Ohio near and around EP. Y'all need to stop playing games. Now, unsafe water is a crisis all over the United States, and we are constantly being reminded of this irrefutable, sad fact. There are no borders for water and air or food. Right. All right, so let's get with the program on this. Be it Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi, or East Palestine, Ohio, the failure to guarantee clean water is an absolute stain on our society. Now, I'm feeling, sisters and brothers, family and friends, a grandma moment. Y'all know how I get about grandma. And my grandma used to say, and it's grandma, okay? My grandma used to say, You can put truth in the river. 5 days after lie, truth gon' catch up. Yeah, gon' catch up. And the truth right now has caught up with us in so many ways. We drowning in truth.